Hello, hello, glory be. It's been a long time once more, I guess. More loss, more transformations, more grief. It's tunnels of grief. But I don't mind the grief, I guess, because the lessons are always in all of it. When you're spending time in the mud within self, within your heart, within your soul, within your past lives, within your connections here and now, and in the ethers, in the ethers, however you want to call that realm that we feel but do not see with our eyes. Grief does that to you. It takes you down. It swirls you into this void. And, the magic is through the movement and accepting the what is in this now, even when it's burns away everything. It burns your heart up. You feel in that loss. I lost my brother, my oldest brother, in August 18th. So, all the feels. The only way to get back to a new center, because you're not back to your old self. You're now you're birthing a new person after a loss like that. Then you're becoming new again, in that feeling it all and embracing the what is. And embracing the see you later, embracing the I feel you all around me at times, every day. And that's not just even for my brother bear. Lord knows I feel him. I hear his voice more than anything, and his laughter. But I'm talking about all beings that we come into connections with, contact with, that are family, friends, partners, our children, all that. You feel everybody's energy, right? I feel everybody's energy anyways. I can feel strangers' energies, their sadness, their grief, their stuckness, their... So when I think of my brother, and, he was a huge supporter of whatever made me feel happy inside, so my dance, my free flow, my yoga, my silly nature, my sharing my animals and love of nature. And I know he would just be like, go for it, sis, share whatever you feel like you want to share. And I love that. Like, I think of him just wanting me to be happy. Utilize my body. Speak my heart out. So many times he wanted to talk to an audience about his cerebral palsy. He was born with cerebral palsy, and he didn't do it. I tried to give him tips. One time I interviewed him, but I was way too... I led him too much, because in truth, when we would just sit and flow, he was so articulate with his spirit and how he really felt about his experience and dreams that he had. And yeah, I wish we would have gotten to it, I wish we would have spent time capturing that on video for him, because that was our goal, and we didn't get to it somehow, some way, through the various things that came, in the road of that, I suppose. Partially me being so busy with work and all of life. wearing many, many hats in my life, you know, as mother, as daughter, as sister, as lover at times, as, you know, employee, worker, 40 hours a week, you know, as a dog mama. I've always loved animals. It's a lot. We're wearing a lot of hats. You know, the many roles we wear, but what's that key role that really lights your fire? For me, it's always been art. I mean, a very second close follow-up is nature, just being in nature and with animals. Yet like I said, I spend a 40-hour work week elsewhere. And after 15 years of making solid art, having, you know, all my days basically consumed with work, and yes, my art is play and creation, but you can't force it, right? You cannot force art in any capacity, and you cannot force connections, and you cannot force ideas. You just have to let them flow out of you. That is the creative flow. So I don't know, 3 big losses in a year has had me kind of scattered and not feeling like working much. Like in my art, like creating my clothing. And then same for my mom. She's a main seamstress. We both sew, but I'm more of the designer, and then manage the shop and do all the customer service and all the sourcing of fabrics, and, you know, and then I make the jewelry and the small accessories. And she's done most of the sewing of the clothing. Like I cut it out, I design it, and then she sews it. Aside from a few small pieces like sweaters. I love to make sweaters, patchwork sweaters from recycled sweater knit. Anyhow, we're both slowing down for various reasons. I think a big part is all the loss in a year. It's been a bit much. And then you take on the collective energies, like I was talking about, feeling all the energy, right? One must listen. And so one also might have gotten a little too sedentary. And so I've been really picking up part of my weekend resuscitation of spirit is to move a lot. So I've been dancing a lot more, and then sometimes making video, but most of the time not lately. I've just been kind of letting my body enjoy it and heal, because that movement is key, especially as we're moving and getting older into stages of life. I cannot express how vital it is to keep moving, but it releases the stress. It's the cortisol that's pumping through my body after loss. So a big part of my brother Bear and I's conversations in the last 5 years was purpose. And, you know, he had a lot of scary things go on with his health. And, you know, he had all these goals that he would have really liked to have achieved. And, but was, you know, bound to a different storyline, one that we talked a lot about, whether or not in the spiritual realms he chose this life and that vessel and the cerebral palsy vessel. And it was fascinating to converse with him on the depth that he was willing to go and explore, and the possibilities of the beyond, and who he would see. He already felt my grandparents that had passed over, and my father that passed over last May. And I'm so blessed that I had that with him. Someone that I could really, you know, ask deep questions with and tackle the, you know, the meaning of all this. Why are we here? What's it all for? How do we surrender when we're not getting our way as we saw that it should go, thought that it should go, dreamt that it should go, you know? and how to surrender when it is the what is. It is the now. And we've been here before. We've journeyed before. May we all remember, maybe remember and not get caught in the traps of lack. Because you really can go down that spiral quite far into the poor me well, and it sucks your life force energy. So to witness him rise above every shitty thing that happened in the last 5 years medically for him, and just to laugh and to love and to express and to cheer each other on. He was my... I think back to the time I sat across from him. He was in the hospital. It was early, like at the start of all his problems in 2020. So masked up and at the hospital, and he was pretty delusional due to his infection. And yet the spirit was upon him so strong, and he felt my dad's presence. He felt, and my dad was alive then, the grandparents, which they've been gone for some time, and just the spirit of God upon him. And he looked me straight in the face and said, I am you, and you are me. And the amount of teachings I have studied that is the evidence, that I believe, that have brought me to believing that we are the great I am. We have that within. To come to that belief that we are the I am, each of us, not just me, but you, that mirror that's watching this video, that's looking into my eyes, that's wondering about my soul, that's curious about my freedom. That is you. To sit across from my brother and to see that, to see his suffering at times, deep suffering, yet to come back to center with this awareness of truth, of who he was, what he was here to do, how he was here to learn to surrender and to overcome and to continue to rise no matter the circumstances that may play out for you, be it deemed good or deemed bad. You can get caught in the trap of suffering or in seeking pleasure. Like, it's to root down and balance and find the center, and do that which is honoring unto self, and then which you would want done unto others, do unto others. That's how we operate in this flow within self, within connection. And so I don't know. I know he's saying, sister, rise up, do what you feel called to do. You love to dance, you love to free flow, you love ecstatic movement. What does that mean? It means picking your swimsuit out of your hoochie, so you're not being inappropriate, right? But not feeling bad that I'm in a swimsuit, that it's sloppy too, because I just make it into a tube top. Because you want to know why? Because I don't care. When you hit that I don't care phase, where you don't want to be focused on aesthetics so much as you just want to be comfortable in your own skin. You want to be authentic to your own self, your own self-centered life force energy, the great I am. How does he want me to move? She move through me, because I believe it's a unified energy of masculine and feminine. It's great mother Sophia and the father, all meshed into one, unified in the center. That's my source. I fill that cup. I'm responsible for rising above each storm, for balancing out the the own self-hatred and recognizing it for the trap that it is, and turning it in, alchemizing it into love and pouring it out upon the body. That's all we're here for. And be it through dance, art, play, work, everywhere.